So throughout the many years, many fans have been wondering who are the very first Rangers in Ranger history. And throughout the years and in the comics, we've been teased with who the original Rangers might be. But in Dino Fury, we might actually have an answer. Hey guys, if you're a fan of Power Rangers and all things Power Rangers related, it'd be much appreciated if you could hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It only takes a few seconds out of your day, but it helps me out a lot with the channel. With that said, on with the video and I hope you guys have a fun time watching it. So for the longest time in Ranger fandom, many fans have been discussing and debating who are the very first Rangers in Ranger history. And it's been a heated discussion for the longest time because it hasn't ever been explained properly. Now, in the comics, they've sort of deep dived into that lore a little bit more, but I'm not going to be talking about the comics in this video. I'm mostly going to be focusing on the TV show because the comics, like I said, it's a whole other deep dive that's very complicated, and I don't think it's been explored fully with what the story Ryan is trying to tell in the comics. So maybe once the comics wrap up completely, we can discuss about the lore of the Omega Rangers and stuff like that, but that's a video for another day. But in this video, we're mostly going to be focusing about the TV show when it comes to Power Ranger lore. So for the longest time, many fans have been trying to discuss and debate who are the very first Rangers on the planet Earth, and until Dino Fury, we didn't really have an answer. So for the longest time, many fans have been trying to figure out who are the oldest team of Power Rangers on the planet Earth, because the Mighty Morphin team came around in 1993, but when it came to other Rangers, it's kind of a muddled mess of a timeline because you've got things like the Wild West Rangers, which no one ever talks about. You've got the very first Samurai team, which they talk about in the opening of Power Rangers Samurai. So one would debate that they're the very first team or one of the very first teams before Dino Fury happened because it would have been in ancient Japan times. And that would be a whole other backstory with how they were connected to the Morphin Grid and got their powers. I mean, maybe we can explore that backstory in the comics or something another time, but that's never fully been explained. They just say there's been Power Rangers that has been existing for the longest time in ancient Japan times. And the Wild West Rangers, don't get me started on the Wild West Rangers. That is a cluster I don't want to get into. But recently in Power Rangers Dino Fury, our main Red Ranger, Zayto, had a flashback where he's been alive for over 65 million years. Well, he was also frozen for 65 million years, but if you haven't seen the first episode of Power Rangers Dino Fury, slight spoilers if you haven't watched it. So Zayto, many years ago, was in a war on his home planet with the Sporax, and the Sporax were moving from planet to planet, destroying them, blowing them up and stuff like that, and Zayto and the people of his planet got into an awesome war with cool special effects and stuff like that. It's an awesome flashback, check it out. And even though that Zayto and his people tried their hardest, they lost the war with the Sporax, and the Sporax went on to the next planet, being Earth. So Zayto and his people followed the Sporax to Earth and took the battle to them, teaming up with the dinosaurs. And when things were looking really bad on the planet Earth, the Morphin Masters appeared and gave them the power of the dinosaurs. So this kind of confirms, or does confirm, that Zayto and his original crew were the very first Power Rangers on the planet Earth, making them the very first Rangers in Earth history. Now, I don't know about other planets out there, I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but let's just say that Zayto and his crew, his original crew, were the very first team of Power Rangers ever established. And here's a crazy tinfoil hat conspiracy when it comes to Power Rangers. Because Zayto's team were dinosaur based, does that mean that because they're the first dinosaur based Rangers, does that mean they're the reason why other dinosaur Rangers exist, such as Mighty Morphin, Dino Thunder, Dino Charge, and stuff like that? Dino Charge might be a little bit different with how their powers were created, but maybe somehow it all ties together with that team, with how they're linked to the Morphin Grid and stuff like that. I don't know. That's my crazy theory. Anyway guys, I think I'm going to wrap this video up. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you want to become a member, hit that join button. It's kind of like being a Twitch subscriber, but on YouTube you get special things such as badges next to your name, emojis you can use in the chat and in the comments and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome and it helps me out a lot. Like I said, it's kind of like being a Twitch subscriber, but it's on YouTube. So with that said, I'm going to wrap this video up. Special thanks to all the members such as Swagger4. If you want to get your name shouted out in a video like Swagger4, become a Zord tier member or higher and you can have your name shouted out at the end of a video. With that said, I'll see you guys around. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day or night. Bye.